Zywoo finds 2 kills. Just like that, we're back to the even keel. No scope for the third.
Get right back up and get it in that goal hole.
No! Blade finding, connecting onto Cloud.
They're planning the flick.
Looking for more. He gets 3 on the round. That flick was filthy. First trip cleared. The dog went all the way around the pillar. TenZ does it again.
Hey, what up YouTube? The best of Counter-Strike versus the best of Valorant. Both TenZ and Zywoo released a mouse under Pulsar in 2025. I've been using both for months now, and I'm going to tell you which is best and hopefully give you some suggestions on which you would like more. I'm going to make this a point system so you can keep track of the pros and cons. For example, point to TenZ because I met him in person and he's a really nice guy. But on the contrary, point to Zywoo because Counter-Strike is better than Valorant. Boom! I fucking hate Valorant. Before I talk about the differences, both have the same Pulsar XS1 sensor, which is in all of their new generation mice. That means both run on 8K polling, but you can adjust it in the software. Obvious things aside, the Zywoo is an ergo shape that is meant for palm or claw grip. At least this is what I see Zywoo gripping this other mouse with. I assume the grip would be designed for something that accommodates this. The TenZ mouse is meant for a palm-claw hybrid, as he's shown on stream before. And because it's an ergonomic shape, it doesn't really make sense to palm the mouse entirely. The Zywoo mouse in its larger size could be a palming mouse, but the Zywoo mouse in its smaller size permits claw or fingertip grip better. As someone who's generally more a fan of claw gripping and non-ergo mice, the Zywoo is absolutely perfect for my hands. It's a bit of a chunky fat boy, but feels significantly better to me than the other ergo mice I've had. It's just a perfect ratio of stumpy and short, but also curvy. The TenZ has a higher hump at the back, and I love a fat booty sometimes, but for me, this makes the mouse a little bit more or less casual feeling of an experience. The butt of the mouse will always make contact with your palm, even in casual use. For the Zywoo, I can just put my fingertips and make a slight adjustment, or use it casually when I'm doing office work, but the TenZ mouse always feels like I need to do a full grip on it to have the best control and grip, because the butt of the mouse will always be in contact with your palm. It's also just a bigger feeling, longer mouse, so if you're playing FPS games, and that's your preferred grip, that's fine, but I think it's a bit too big and long for more casual applications. An alternative to consider is the XM2W4K. It's a little bit fatter, but has mostly the same shape, less of a defined hump on the back, and it feels more like an all-rounder mouse. I daily drive this mouse and it feels more comfortable just because it's not as extreme with the big hump and it's not as long. The TenZ mouse might be perfect for some, but I just don't think it's that unique of a shape overall. Furthermore, I think the Zywoo mouse is more of a unique ergo shape and I've not really used anything like it. I'm kind of new-ish to the mouse game ever since I started working at ONEofZERO. I've used a fair bit, but the closest I say to the Zywoo is the X-Lite V4, which is still more dedicated towards palm. I really like how the Zywoo mouse has smooth, rounded out edges that make it easy to hold the mouse from any angle. And I think the tilt of the mouse is perfect, combined with, again, the chonky design that is a little bit shorter, allows it to kind of just sink into your hand in any position. I can just casually throw my hand on the mouse and it will just form and I get a natural grip. Point goes to the Zywoo mouse for having a more unique shape that I think will apply to more people. In terms of the design of each, the Zywoo has a really nice fuchsia little undercurrents below the mouse buttons, and I think that makes this mouse so unique looking and just stands above the rest in terms of how it looks. It could have just been a black mouse and people wouldn't have complained, but this is just really personable and unique. On the other hand, the TenZ signature looks so good on both the black and red model. Honestly, in the red model, I'm not a huge fan of the Japanese TenZ, but that's just me. Besides that, the red color is amazing, and on the bottom of the red TenZ mouse, you get to see this really nice crystally ruby texture that still shows a little bit when you take a side view of your mouse, and I think both are outstanding in terms of the small things that make it feel special and stand out for whoever buys the mouse. I will give 1 point each for both mice for the design. In regards to the weight of the mice, the TenZ sits at a very light 48 grams, especially for its body size, whereas Zywoo sits at a 55 grams, but the really cool part that I didn't even know before looking into this was that there is an adjustable weight. I was going to give this point to TenZ because most people like a lighter mouse for esports and competitive games, but just the customizability of the Zywoo mouse is an added value that I wouldn't have expected from most mice. Point goes to both. And in conclusion, I think the Zywoo mouse will just be a better fit for more people, especially if you're not into ergo. I thought I wasn't into ergo until I tried this mouse and it just blew me away. I love it. I think the TenZ mouse will appeal to less people. It is a bit more niche, but it's still a great mouse that most people will still at least like. The Zywoo is my favorite and gets my seal of approval. But I can love TenZ.